You can watch Wolves versus Liverpool on Now TV for just €10. So what's stopping you? Putting up more Christmas decorations? Your house already looks like Santa's grotto. A family party? Your Aunt Mary has seen you 4 times this week already. What a fixture! Don't let anything get in your way. To treat yourself to a Now TV Sky Sports Day Pass and watch the games that matter to you for just €10, search Now TV Football today. Content streamed by internet. Full terms at nowtv.com.
Hey everybody, this is Jacob Young, and you're listening to Pam and Dawn.
Hello, and welcome to Christmas MuVies Spotlight. I'm your host, Dawn Mack, and I am here with my wonderful friend and partner in crime and excellent co-host of this great show, Pam. How are you, Pam?
Ooh, I got an excellent. When do I get my gold star?
I'll send it to you in the mail.
Oh, here we go.
Look, how about a participation trophy? Would that help? A gold star and a participation trophy.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll get my speech together.
You're so much worth more than those things. Don't you know? This show wouldn't be what it is if you weren't a part of it.
Aw. And I'm supposed to talk after that, but you know what? It wouldn't be anything if you weren't here either. It would just be one of us talking.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. We have a lot of fun on this show, folks. And by the way, welcome to our show, and we are so glad to have you here this evening for the special edition of Christmas MuVies Spotlight. And if you are a first-time listener, welcome aboard. And if you're tuning in for the first time and you're going, who are these two women and what are they doing? Let me just tell you, it's Pam and Dawn. We are crazy. We're witty. We love to have fun, and we thoroughly enjoy doing the show. And so when we get on air together, she lives up north. I live in the south, in case our accents didn't give that away. But so we are, we're remote when we're doing this, and it's just a lot of fun to just, get on here and bring all this great, content to you all and to bring these wonderful interviews to you. And I tell you, tonight is no exception. It's going to be a great show. And if this is your first time tuning in, you picked a good one. Let me tell you, we've had so many guests this season rather. And this guest in particular, he was a lot of fun. I mean, as he always is. I think, Pam, you've interviewed him how many times on other shows that you've done?
A couple times. Did I? It's just, I know for sure one time, but I can't remember if we've done it twice. But for some reason, I want to say twice, but I'm not positive. Maybe I'm thinking of this one. But he is a hoot and a half.
Oh, he is, and you know why I'm thinking that you may have is because when we had the opportunity to chat with him, he just makes you feel like you've known him forever. And he's so friendly and he's so cordial, and he's the kind of person that you could go, grab a bite with, grab a beer with, and just sit and chat and laugh for hours, and that's just kind of the way he is. And in case you're wondering who I'm talking about, Jacob Young, and I know Jacob has tons of fans out there, and so we are just so excited that he is our special guest this evening. And I tell you, we had a fun time chatting with him. He talked about a lot of different things, and this new movie that he's going to be in very soon over the holidays. And it was just a fun time. I could have talked to him for 8 days. He was just great to hang out with on the phone.
I absolutely adore him, and he speaks truth, he speaks fact, he speaks whatever's on his mind, so you never know what you're going to get when you talk with him, and it's always a pleasure either way.
Yeah.
So
it's I love all of our guests, but some just they're kind of out. So Jacob is those. He just what he brings to an interview. He's fun. You hit on something very good. The fact that he does speak his mind, and I love that in a person anyway. And so, Pam, tell him about the movie that he's going to be in coming up very soon.
Nope, I'm going to leave him guessing.
You know what? I think you should. Now, okay, folks, I'll hint. Jacob Young. Now, a lot of people know Jacob Young from the soap world, and trust me, he has a legion of fans from the soap world because he's been on so many different soaps. It's crazy. And, I mean, he's held major roles on the soap. So he is, of his most recent, The Bold and the Beautiful. Well, let me tell you, now be in his first Hallmark Channel movie, which I am over the moon about, not only because he's not on Bold and the Beautiful now, but because I'm hoping that this won't be the last time he's on Hallmark. I hope this is a start of something good.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. I mean, we are just so excited to see him on Hallmark. And, again, the name of the movie is Christmas Made to Order. It'll be on Sunday, December 23rd at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 Central. And it also stars Jonathan Bennett and Alexa Penavega. So this should be good.
Oh, most definitely. Well, we are delighted and honored to now bring you our special interview with Jacob Young.
Enjoy the show. And thanks again for calling in. We really appreciate it. I'm going to start out with your lifetime movie, Killer Vacation. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I swear it kept me going on who the killer was till almost the end. And, most movies you can figure out who the killer is, even towards the middle, but this one kept me going. It was such a great movie, and I can't even tell you how wonderful it was to see you with Alexa Havens again. Absolutely loved it.
Thank you, and it was such a special time to be working with her and see her again. And we both are, have children. We're both married, and it was like our lives have paralleled each other. But it was so great catching up with her. And yeah, and I agree. I agree with it's funny. You know who the killer is. You think it's maybe it's the detective. Maybe it's the guy that's doing the investigation, the private detective. Maybe you think it's my ex-wife or my wife, and then it just kind of keeps you in suspense throughout it. And when I read the script originally, I was like, I can't be the killer. I'm not going to be the killer. Is my character going to be the killer? Then it turned out, of course, I was. But I think I probably mentioned this before. Lifetime movies. If you're a man, you definitely, most of the time, you're an adulterer or you're a murderer or you're committing some sort of crime throughout that film.
Yeah, you were all of the above for sure. What was it like to play a killer? I mean, that's not something that you normally play, and it was so strange, yet it seemed real, if you know what I mean, for movie time.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's always fun to break off from, like, who you really are and be able to delve into some other person's mindset, whether it's a killer or a business guy. I mean, that's squeaky clean. It's always fun to go into that, and I don't know, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was nice to have that escapism and be bad for a little while. And I think I was telling somebody recently, you have to start believing your own lies. I mean, if you're going to play somebody like that, because this guy was a liar. He lied about everything. So people go, well, how is it like to play that, and how do you get there? But the thing I could tell people was that you have to really start believing your own lies, and that's what really brought that character to life.
Well, you knocked it out of the park, and I'd love to see you do more roles like this on Lifetime or anywhere for that matter.
Well, you're in luck because there's 3 more coming out in 2019, and of course we have the Hallmark Christmas movie that's coming up on the 23rd of this month.
Right. Well, I want to mention one other thing. Every time you called Alexa babe, I had flashbacks from you, and as Babe and JR from All My Children, and I think that anybody that probably watched it had the same thing that I did. So
I started to interject. It's funny you caught that because there was one scene that it was originally written in where I said Babe, right? And we got a kick out of it just like you are. And I said, well, I'm going to interject this whenever I can, just for fans' sake and the nostalgia of Babe and JR. And so yeah, you caught on to it. And it was fun. It was fun to be able to take people down that and be able to throw that in there once in a while.
Well, speaking of soaps, fans have been watching you on screen in many of your favorite soaps throughout your career. And which of the soaps you have starred in has stretched you the most as an actor?
I think hands down it would have been All My Children and playing JR. I've been very lucky, first of all. I had such great father figures and fathers that played my fathers on all these shows, from Tony Geary to David Canary, and of course John McCook and On the Bold and the Beautiful. But David was such a talented man, and he brought so much to his role every single day. It really, inside my mind, I started going, well, how do I keep up with him? I want to be like him, and I'm his father's son, and JR was very much like Adam. So I think that was definitely the role that stretched me the furthest. There were so many great stories that interlaced through probably 8-9 years I was on the show, and it was. I think that was the apex. That was the most difficult and pivotal role I think I've ever played.
Yeah, we loved it. We loved it. That was for sure. And anything you do, I have to keep saying that because you're so talented. Now that you're in the midst of quote-unquote moviedom, do you feel it has made your life easier, harder, different, complicated? Pick a word versus doing a soap.
I don't think it's more difficult. Easier. Yes, you transition to a new character each time, and you're not playing the same person as you were playing, let's say, on a soap for several years in a row. That becomes very easy because you get to know that person. But with this, I'm constantly questioning, asking myself all those questions: the who, the what, the where, the when, the why, and trying to develop these characters. I think it's easy, but at the same time it's difficult. It's easier in the front that there's an end point. There's a start and a finish line, and you're going to be done in 15 days or 20 days. It's going to be done. But at the same time, you're going, how am I going to squeeze all this stuff that I'm taking, all the juices into this character in 15 days? It doesn't seem like it's possible, but somehow the show goes on and it gets done. So I don't know. It's really enjoyable. I love the fact that I can move on from something and not be playing the same person every day. And I know some soap fans are probably not going to like to hear that, but it's much more rewarding for me as an actor to be able to move on and transition into something else.
Well, now we've had the privilege of seeing you play on different soaps. We've seen you play a murderer. You've done a lot of different things throughout your career. And what would you consider your favorite type of role to play?
Yeah, I think that my favorite role is playing the bad guy. I think without the bad guy, without the animosity and those things that that they bring to the table in a film or a show. Nothing would happen. There would be no consequences without the bad guy, and I think I enjoy that the most. I think I would be okay playing a bad guy the rest of my career. If that was only the roles that came to me, I'd be all right with that because it's a lot of fun to be somebody other than yourself.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's so opposite of who you are, obviously. So to be able to step into a role like that, and really own it, and make it believable is a mark of a great actor, and you definitely have demonstrated that time and again. So maybe we'll get to see you in one of these upcoming Lifetime movies playing another bad guy. But all right, well, I got a fun question for you now, and I read where your nickname is Jake the Snake. Do I dare ask where it came from?
Well, I am a product of the 80s. I mean, I was born in 79. But, of course, WWF wrestling was a big thing. And all my friends, everybody who loved to collect the wrestler figures, Hulk Hogan, all those guys. Well, Jake the Snake Roberts was a big to-do, in the 80s, and you always just throw that boa constrictor on top of people, and I don't know, if your name was Jake, then you were Jake the Snake. That was just how it was in the 80s, and it just stuck. It just stuck, and my parents, my brother, everybody called me that.
Well, it's interesting because when I read this and I saw that was the first thing that came to mind because, albeit I watched wrestling back then, and I remember Jake the Snake very well, and he's one of the most popular wrestlers around at that time. But, well, that's really cool. That's a great connector.
Yeah, well, I wish it was a bit more interesting story. I was bit by a snake one time, and no, it just it just happened because of it at the time. But yeah, I was flattered to be given that nickname, and it stuck.
Well, everyone could also assume that maybe you were a big champion snake wrestler back in the day, at the start of your career or something, and that's kind of how you got the nickname. So if you ever need an alternative version to that story, there you go.
There it is.
Well, I think that would be something great to pop onto one of your shows on YouTube. I think that the fans would get a kick out of it, and I absolutely love your YouTube shows. I'm so glad that you started it. Where did the idea come from, and what made you decide to do it?
Well, that's a great question. And I'm not sure if I mentioned it to you in our last interview, but there was a moment that kind of shook me to the core recently, I think within the last year, and it happened more than one time. There was, I've been in a situation, and there was somebody who was a fan of the show, and their daughter was there, and she's probably 20 years old, and she said something like, "This guy is on my favorite show." And she was like, their daughter said, "Well, what show is that?" And I said, "Bold and the Beautiful." And she looked at me deadpan and said, "I've never heard of it." And that was the first time that had happened. And, that was a really big sort of awakening for me, I suppose, and realized that, well, I need to be able to hit that other demographic that I'm not hitting. Now, we know the fans that have been with the show have been the fans for a long, long time, of course, for many years, but we're not regenerating new fans anymore because there's so many outlets and so many platforms that people can, consume their entertainment from. And YouTube, is yes, of course, people use it for searching and trying to find things, how to fix things around the house or how-to videos, which that's the number one thing YouTube is used for. But at the same time, I said, I want to be able to hit that younger audience, and I want to be in that world. And I love the idea of I've always thought, I could be on on a red carpet and doing a hosting gig or host of a TV show. I enjoy that. I think for me, it's easier to ask questions than it is sometimes to answer questions. And so that came to me, this whole thing. I said, well, I want to be able to hit all these different demographics, and I think more these days than ever, it's being relevant, making sure that you're being seen everywhere. People like Kevin Hart, he did a reality show, but yeah, he's the highest paid comedian in television or in film right now, but he can transfer over and do a reality show without any consequences. So back in the day, of course, to do that. You couldn't be a film actor and then go to TV. Obviously, we've seen that happen now, and vice versa, TV to film. It was strictly prohibited, but now it doesn't matter. I think all those boundaries have all been broken, and just being relevant and being able to be on this platform, be on the YouTube platform, be on Roku, be on, network television. And also I think, what also gave me a big awakening was there was only one network show that was nominated for an Emmy this last year. Everything else was Amazon, Netflix, HBO, all the other cable channels. So that told me that, like, if say daytime for instance, or even CBS, ABC, if they want to start competing or stay in there, they're going to have to rethink how their television is.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's why these shows are going down so quickly, and the ratings are dropping, and we've seen so many of the soap operas go off the air. And I told myself, I said, you know what? I even told my wife, I said, I'm not going to sit here and go down with a ship that might be sinking. I need to go out there and I need to rebrand myself. And part of this whole rebranding is the YouTube channel, which I actually have some exciting news. Roku created a network on Roku, and I'll have multiple shows under the name Stream Me. So Stream Me is our network, and I'll have multiple shows, everything from cooking shows to talk shows, my talk show, of course, my buddy Steve Freeman's talk show. We're gonna have our own network, which is really exciting and a lot of fun, and it makes me feel like I'm kind of like a mini Ted Turner in a way.
Yeah. You never know where it'll go, though.
Right, exactly. Well, congratulations on that. But I try to keep up to date with, all the different venues out there that you can do things like this. But can you just fill me in on what Roku is?
So Roku, yeah. So just like Netflix or any other platform where you can stream media, Roku is an actual box. It's kind of like a DirecTV box, but it's much smaller. It's really compact. And instead of trying to stream like YouTube and videos through YouTube, it actually streams through your TV the same way. But you can binge watch it the same format as Netflix. So you can watch as many as you want or as little as you want. But it's all available. And there's a lot of network television shows that are on there as well. Roku is it's just an on-demand network, and believe it or not, it has more subscribers than Amazon around the world. It's massive, and I think the United States have been a little bit behind the ball, but this has been going on for a long time, overseas, and Roku is definitely it's probably going to be one of those contend with. But it's really great because it also allows people like myself or like you to start your own show, and you can be streaming your own show and sell it against ads, and it's really easy to set up. You just got to go online, look it up, and anybody who has the ambition to do that, they can do that. With my situation, I what's really interesting about it is I have the ability to promote it, fund it, put the kind of programming that I want to see and what I think other people want to see. Yes, everybody has the ability to do this, but how are you going to draw the audience? And that's been that's I think what's going to make mine different from a lot of people that are just trying to start up. I'm definitely going to get some eyes on it initially, but very excited about it. Stream Me on Roku.
There you go. We'll check it out for sure. Well, we also are excited. I mean, there's so much happening with you, Jacob. It's like hard to keep up almost. But we're excited because you're also going to be in a Hallmark Channel Countdown to Christmas movie, Christmas Made to Order, coming up on December 23rd. And, I believe this is your first role with Hallmark, correct?
This is my first Hallmark film, yeah.
Well, we hope it won't be your last. I can just tell you that. And we want to see you in a leading role on Hallmark in one of their films coming soon. But we're excited. I mean, this is going to be, from the previews I've seen and the storyline, it just sounds like a really great movie and great cast, of course. And what can you share with us about your character and the movie without giving too much away?
So my character, even though it's Jonathan Bennett and Alexa Vega Pina that are starring in it, it's a real ensemble cast. The storyline wouldn't work without the family. The family is kind of at the core of this film. My character is a doctor, and I'm talking with my wife in the beginning, and unfortunately we're not going to be able to have Christmas at our house as we normally have, and we're going to have to go to my wife's brother's house, and he's kind of not ready for Christmas. You know, he was planning on leaving and going visiting us, and he wasn't ready. He doesn't have decorations. I wouldn't say he's a Scrooge. He's just a guy that wasn't prepared. And you've seen the Hallmark recipe. They're brilliant movies. They're lots of fun. Of course, there's always somebody who's out of love and out of luck, and through the Christmas spirit, it pushes them together. But it definitely has a lot to do with the family driving it as well. And I have a sub storyline that interlaces with that storyline as well. So it's not just the main story. There's several little stories that are taking place, and it's a lovely movie and so much fun. It was so much fun, and I'm super squeaky clean. So if anybody wants to kill their vacation, this is completely obviously the absolute opposite of that. He's definitely a very squeaky clean, sweet guy, and it's a fun movie. So I'm excited. It comes out on the 23rd. Just before Christmas Eve. I think it couldn't come out, at a better time. And it was a lot of fun I was able to work right here in Utah. That was also
that's great.
Yeah, I actually got to drive home to work instead of catching a plane. So that was nice to be able to work right here and not too far from my house, and be able to give my kids a kiss goodnight and then head out to the work in the morning. That was it was a real pleasure.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, we're looking forward to this movie, and Hallmark Channel, I think, has outdone themselves anyway this year. Great movies all across the board. So I feel like this is going to kind of cap off almost the holiday season with the story, and, of course, seeing you on screen. And that was a pleasant surprise, by the way, finding out that you were going to be in this movie. So, like I said, we certainly hope this won't be your last time with Hallmark, and we look forward to everything you do.
I appreciate that. And I don't think it is. And when I saw that this film was going to be shot here and they were auditioning, I went ahead and I doubled down. Like, I don't normally, I'll put myself on tape for any audition that I go out for. But this particular movie, there was two characters, so I just went ahead and I auditioned for both of them. And then I guess Wynn got back to Hallmark and they found out that it was me and I was local. They said, no, we want him to play this role. That wasn't a role that wasn't available here in Utah. And so they gave me a bigger role, and I think if that's any inkling to what's going to be happening in the future with the Hallmark company, there's going to be a lot more in store for myself. So.
That's awesome. That's exciting news. Well, before we wrap up, we always like to play a little fun 5-question lightning round, and there are no wrong answers. It's all Christmas related, and so if you're game, we'll play this, and then we'll wrap up. And but the first question is, what is your favorite Christmas tradition?
My favorite Christmas tradition is being able to be with just my family. We've made that our tradition since my wife and I got married. We'll see family after the holiday or like the next day, but we like to just have our tradition with just us, the kids, opening their presents and us, enjoying it, drinking coffee and just being, that unit, the family. That's my favorite tradition.
That's awesome. What is your favorite Christmas song?
Holly Jolly Christmas.
Oh, that's a good one. What is your favorite Christmas movie?
Favorite Christmas movie. Oh gosh, there's so many good ones. I love Rudolph. I love all the old animation. The stop animation. I forget which company does it, but all those were so great.
Rankin Bass
Yes.
does all of those animated films, and they're so nostalgic. I love to watch them too. All right, hot toddy or hot chocolate?
Hot toddy, of course.
And lastly,
we'll leave the hot cocoa for the kids.
There you go. That's good. That's good. And last but not least, white lights or colored lights?
Colored lights. I mean, life is, so much nicer in color.
Yeah, that's true. It's so much to see this time of year, too. Well, that completes our 5-question lightning round. Thank you so much for playing along.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Well, Jacob,
and thank you so much for calling, too.
Yeah, we've had an absolute blast talking with you.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much. And anytime, I love talking with you guys, too.
Thank you. We'll keep in touch. We're going to be talking to you next year for those 2019 movies. You can guarantee it.
February 1. February 1. They changed the name from Faithfully to A Wedding to Die For. It's a Lifetime movie, but it's a really good one. Great cast, really, really shot really well. Very excited about that. So, yeah, that one we'll talk about that when it gets closer.
Great. We look forward to it.
Well, happy holidays to you and your family, and thanks again.
Yeah, happy holidays. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Hey, guys, don't leave us yet. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Christmas Movies. That's XMASMUVIES. And also like our Facebook page at Christmas MuVies Spotlight. Don't forget, that's spelled MUVIES. And follow us on Instagram at Christmas MuVies Spotlight.
And don't forget to check out our website, ChristmasMoviesSpotlight.com. That's movies with MUVIES. ChristmasMoviesSpotlight.com.
Thanks for listening. See you next week.